Sorry, where'd my live go? Here we go. Ready? There's a ribbon. Welcoming you to my live. All right, so that's a little teaser on how we're going to start our meeting tonight. So that's the ribbon printer. Welcome to my live. See that? So hi, welcome in. How is everybody? Leave your name when you get here so I know who's here. If you don't leave a comment, it's really hard for me to figure out who's here. But there is a ribbon welcoming you to tonight's live. Thank you for coming. And let me just give you an overview of all the things that we're going to go over. So good evening. Tonight we're going to do a couple of things. I just want to do a few reveals. I had a couple of things stashed in my room that I just wanted to pop open because I thought it would be cool for you to see. I videotaped them for later also, so you'll be able to see when they were poured and things like that. I have a sublimation demo today, which is going to show you how to use sublimation, infusible ink, sublimation on fabric. So we're going to do a little makeup bag, which I think there was a sneak peek in a post that I did earlier today. As well as I'm going to show you the ribbon printer demo. It's upside down. The ribbon printer demo with regards to how that works and how the app works and the good, the bad, and the ugly in terms of what you might actually get out of this. Okay, so for the very first thing, I want to pop out a couple things out of some molds. Plus, this gives other people a chance to kind of get in and out of the room and find the space on my page. So hopefully this starts to populate and it'll be easy to find. But check this out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. So what we got here, we have a fidget spinner. That's right. So this mold, I actually didn't know that they were going to work this well, but check that out. So these were very cute. They came with the hardware. And I'm feeling like everybody needs to have one of these on their desk at work or something. So super cute. So there's a fidget spinner, and I had a couple more. So I was just going to pop them out of the mold real quick and show you what the hardware was like. So a couple things. Hi, Kathy. I know, right? Check it out. Like you can make, so I have 10 molds, but you don't need to do 10 at a time. I did a fidget spinner that I did a 2-color pour. So I made a yellow by request for a viewer on YouTube, and then I did orange. I think the same person might have requested both. So this came out really lovely, but let me show you how easy they are. So it has a spotter that goes in there. There's a wheel that goes in the center of this thing, right? And then there is a clip that goes on the other side. I say that, and then there we go. And it clips in there. And away you go. It's so cute. So this one's adorable. I guess in this instance, there is a front and back because there are grooves on one side, not on both sides. I think on all the molds, so like the fire one, there are grooves too. I think that these are really, you could be very specific and like paint in the grooves and then pour different colors. Hi, Pat. Showing fidget spinners. But I only did solid colors because I was trying to get some things poured, and I didn't really have a whole lot of effort. I didn't put a whole lot of effort into terms of painting the designs. And I have one more. Let me show you one more. But they're really very cute. And the fact that you can do like 10 at a time. These take like 40 milliliters of resin, so it's not a lot of resin. It's as much as, it's probably less than the skeleton keychain it's really not that much, but the hardware just makes it super cool. Okay, one more. I love this one. This also has a little groove on the front, so it looks like a cog. Can you see that? Really pretty. All right, stick this in the center. And then one cap goes on the back. See, it's a really nice piece of hardware too. One cap goes on the front. I didn't know that was a sunflower one, huh? All right. And then, that one's good too. I like the cog one. I think the cog's cute. But I love that they have patterns on the inside. This one is really loose. I don't know, maybe it's different. All right, so there you have it. A couple of things that I just wanted to show you because I thought that the hardware was so adorable. Which one was, oh, that's not a sunflower, but I guess it could be. If I did the right colors, it would certainly be a sunflower. All right, so that is it for my fidget spinners. Sorry, I lost the screen that everybody's on. Okay. One other one I wanted to demold for Jen List because she loves skulls. With everything I had left over from the fidget spinners, I did a skull. Now I want you to know I've been researching these. There was a rather large one in the set that came with this. Let me see if I can pop this out while I'm talking. And I saw somebody pour, oh, so shiny. Ha! I saw somebody pour one of these and then embed like these little things. Actually, a little smaller than this, but like lights up into the head and light the skull. That was really slick. So I do have lights. I do have battery powered lights. I'm going to have to try that next. They do take up a lot of resin, but this one's pretty big. Look how big that one is. This is not one of those little itty bitty ones. Hi, Michael. Yeah, pretty big. And then obviously I had pink because I was making that fidget spinner, but that's a lot of pink there, and I made one more. So that's a keychain. Oh, that came out great too. And this one I let sit. The pink I let sit for a long time because I really wanted this to be distributed nicely, and it came out really, it's really, really distributed nicely. Okay. All right. So let's go to one more reveal. I have dog tags. I forget who asked me for this last week and said if you had dog tags, I'd claim a dog tag. So there is one. Made them in blue. Super cute. They have, love that. It has an actual little opening here. See that? So there's like a cutout in it. And it's really, this is called magic blue. I know I've done some other blues in the past. It is quite magical. I'm not going to lie. It has like, has a really nice, I don't know, like universe look to it. Like it's space. Maybe I just have space on the brain. All right, so we had a couple of those. Okay, so I wanted to show you those pieces, but what I really wanted to show you and spend more time on was the sublimation, because I've gotten some questions on sublimation when I post a project here and there. So I want to show you a couple things. Sublimation is, let me get a sample here. Sublimation is the use of infusible ink, actually in its very basic form. Sublimation is the use of infusible ink sheets on a material. You can get very deep and complicated into it with printer that has sublimation ink. So you print your own designs and put them on materials. I'm starting at the very basic level. If you don't have a Cricut, you can do this. If you have, just an iron or a heat press or something, you can do this. So I was trying to start at square one. So let me introduce you to infusible ink sheets and what happens with them. So infusible, Kathy knows this because Kathy's great at sublimation already. Infusible ink can be adhered to a sublimation ready surface. So for instance, I have makeup bags and we're doing one today, but this makeup bag was sublimation ready, which means that there's a coating on it that allows the sublimation to adhere to the fabric. The good thing about it is that it's not like a Cricut vinyl. It literally merges with the fabric like ink. I mean, it is ink, but it's smooth and there's no differentiation between the surface and the letters. So it's basically infusible ink into the surface. There are lots of things that can have infusible ink surfaces on them, one being glass. So you can take an infusible ink sheet and literally wrap it around a glass, put it in a heat press mug, and completely change a white mug to a delightfully patterned mug. So you can do that with no tools. You can buy the sheets, cut it down to the mug, a sublimation ready mug, tape it on there and heat it, and basically do a mug without any tools. However, what I'm doing is I took the sublimation sheet and I ran it through my Cricut. So in order to get a name on this, you're going to cut the sheet on your Cricut in mirror mode. And the reason we're doing that in mirror mode, right? So here's the sheet that I cut out already, is so that when you put it on your sheet, it's in the right orientation. So here's the sheet when it was plain, right? When it looked like this. I ran it through the Cricut in mirror mode. Megan, hi! And then I turned it I flipped it down onto the surface, and I'm ready to adhere a sublimation sheet to a sublimation ready surface. Hi Megan, we're talking about sublimation, which I can't remember if I've ever given you anything with sublimation for theater, but basically we're talking about how to get ink onto other materials. So we're using a sublimation ready sheet. I cut them with the Cricut, and then I'm going to put the ink down on the sheet. So while I am talking about how else you can use it, I'm going to just heat up my Cricut press. So what I did here was I cut the letters out on my Cricut, and I removed everything around the letters. So I left the letters on the transfer paper, left the letters on there, removed everything else. When you use infusible ink, you can do the opposite. So for example, here's an infusible ink sheet, and instead of leaving the letters, I took the letters off. Now I can wrap this sheet around a mug and create a completely inked mug that has somebody's name on it. Just so happens to have Donna's name on it because Donna requested it on my on my post this afternoon when I said leave a name if you want a thing. So there's the infusible ink. I put it on my Cricut. I printed this out in reverse, and I removed the letters. Now I can wrap it around something. I can lay it on something, and everywhere where there's ink is going to transfer to the surface. On this one, I did the opposite. I cut the letters out, and I removed everything except the letters. And in doing so, wherever there's ink left, that's what's going to go on the surface. So I'm going to show you that by switching over to just about heated up on my heat press. I'm going to switch this over so you can see my desk. And I'm going to talk about the surface a little bit. For fabric, infusible ink can go through the material. So whether or not I use an infusible ink sheet or I print it out on myself and make my own infusible ink sheet on my sublimation printer, I can still get the ink to go through the surface. So if you're making a bag for someone or a t-shirt, you're going to want to make sure that you put some paper in between, and I'm using butcher paper, in between wherever the fabric is touching something else, because it could potentially go through. Just depends on the heat that you're using. Can you sublimate on anything? You can sublimate on anything that is sublimation ready. I buy a lot of surfaces sublimation ready. You can also sublimate on anything that's polyester. So 100% polyester will take sublimation. Oh, the possibilities are endless. Anything that's polyester will take sublimation. The less polyester you get, the less vibrant the ink will become on that surface. So if you do 65% polyester and the rest is cotton, it will still work. It will just be less vibrant. If you do 40% polyester, it will be pretty faint and it may wash out quickly. And if you do 100% cotton, it's really not going to work correctly. We can really go down a rabbit hole with this because there are sublimation sprays where you can make any surface sublimation ready. That's a whole different thing because it's gunky and it can be hard to use. It can be easy to use too, but sublimation ready surfaces are the way to go. So this is a sublimation ready makeup bag. I have a piece of paper in it, and I am going to put a name on it now. One of the things I like to do, is, what was that thing? Is I'm going to use a piece of tape just to get anything off the surface that might have been on there. Because if you put the ink on, let's say, random glitter that's floating around in my room, you will kind of sink that glitter right into the ink and it will stay in there too. I'm just going to eyeball setting it up, but you can see that there. I'm sorry, the light is very bright. The paper is behind it. And then before I hit it with the heat for 1 minute, I'm going to cover it again with another piece of paper. All right. Now, you remember this bag? It looked like this. It also had a zipper on it. So the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to protect that zipper from my heat press by not being directly on it this time. I'm just going to be a little bit past the zipper. All right. So this is a Cricut press. I think this is a 12 by 12. These are great. I burned through one of these already. Maybe this is my second or third one. I have different sizes, and I have a clamshell heat press. I actually use the clamshell for bigger things. For something this small, I would just use this. Sometimes I'd even use my hand press, but I wanted you to see this press in action in case you have one and you're not using it yet. And so, like I said, on a bag like this, you want to keep aware that there's a zipper there, and you can melt that thing in a second at 400 degrees for a minute. So you just want to make sure you're not on the zipper. Sometimes I'll wrap paper around the zipper just to protect it a little bit more. 10 seconds. I know I moved it, so I wouldn't be surprised if I moved the letters a little bit when I moved the paper. Let's see what we got here. All right, so there is the okay, and then I'm gonna remove the paper. Oh, Mary Ellen. Now it looks like I have a little bit of whiteness there. I can go back and kind of remarry that color back on there. Let me try that. The other letters won't matter because the ink is already off of them. Let me see if I can fix that. And you know why that happened? Because I was trying to stay away from the zipper and didn't have it high enough on the bag. These bags I get from Amazon, they actually come in a rainbow of colors. See those? And then I constantly have material to make somebody a gift. But they also come with canvas bags. Much better. They also come with matching canvas bags. I still miss the R, but I can go back. That's really cute. Oh, I didn't miss the R. There's no more ink on here. It's a varied color. All right, so we're going to leave that. So there you have it. What I didn't realize was the pattern itself has white in it. It looked like this, the pattern. So I have some white spots in the letters because the pattern itself had white in it. That's adorable. That came out great. And then then what I did was, I don't know if you watched my mail the other day, but I got this amazing kit of charms and charm pieces and O-rings and the pliers and whatnot. And so what I'm going to do is, aside from using them for chapsticks, I got these great little charms that I'm going to attach to other things. And so I have a purple charm that's going to match this one. This one had a pink one. And I don't know, charms are like everywhere now. So I think that they're a must-have now on a project like this. I'm going to just attach it to the zipper. These are easy to use. This particular brand even is a little too easy to use. Like I can bend it without the pliers. I really should take pliers to open those up. And there you go. So there's that bag with her matching charm on there. We'll send that off to Mary Ellen. And then spoiler alert for Sherry. Obviously, somebody named Sherry. Oh, if she's here, it's a spoiler alert for her if she's actually here, that I'm sending her this in the mail. And then the other thing that I want to show you real quick with regards to this, if you have questions, please drop them in here because it's so hard for me to just like keep talking and answer every question that I would think you might anticipate. But let me know. I had one other thing. So I showed you the Donna mug. What you would do is cut out all your letters and to make the bag that we just made. Hi, Sherry. I made this for you. I'm sending it for you because I see you all over my page and I wanted to thank you. So I made that for you. So you'll be getting that in the mail. But what the other thing was, I wanted to show you if you left the ink and took out the letters, you could sublimate onto something else. So I did another sublimation ready surface, which is like one of these lipstick holders. You put a chapstick in here, right? I don't know what they're called, but you put a chapstick in there and you can probably hang that off your bag or it'll go with the makeup bag. But I wanted to show you that because it's the opposite of what I did on the makeup bag, right? So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to heat that real quick so you can see it. Because also it's adorable. The other thing that I would do, depending on the project, is I have heat tape here. If this is going to move around too much, there's this heat resistant tape that you can tape this project right in its spot. It's not going to do anything except hold it in place. It's not going to affect your ink or anything like that. All right, so let's do one more item, but in the reverse so you can see how the reverse comes out. So 1 minute of this. Again, sublimation ready surface. It looks like this. And these come in all shapes and things. So I have, what do I have for these? I have beer cozies made out of this material. It's just like a polyester fabric. It's nice. And actually, when you buy polyester shirts nowadays, because I buy t-shirts all polyester so I can sublimate on them. If you saw my my spring training t-shirt, that was this process. I printed my own infusible ink sheet on my own printer, and I wore it to the baseball game down in Florida. So, all right. I feel like this is long for this little piece, but it's the same amount of time for all of them. Or maybe just a minute seems long. Yeah, when you're not saying anything. Oops, sorry. Okay. All right, so here was, ow, it's hot. Okay, so here's that infusible ink. Took the letter, ow, it's so hot. There's how it came out on the keychain, or on the, it's the back side of the, that. See that? Look how good that looks. Seriously. And it's not going to fade and it's not going to come out with sublimation ready. That ink's permanent. It really is great. You can see the little white there too. That looks awesome. So I matched the back side. I did do the back side so that it would have a front and back done. Right, maybe I'll do that so you can see the whole thing. All right, we'll do it one more time. There we go. So see what I'm doing? I took a plain sheet. This doesn't have anything on it, no name or anything. I'm just going to do the front so that it matches the back. I'm going to put it under this sheet, and then I'm going to take it for a minute. I hope that didn't move. I don't know. We'll find out. Some of the other, so anyway, I was telling you about these. These were really inexpensive for the volume that you got. I'll put the link on my post after this is over. because they came with matching canvas bags, and the handles were all matching colors to these. So they were great. I want to say, I don't know, there was 12 bags and 12 makeup bags. And I love them for gifts for like our community theater opening nights and whatnot. I did them for Cinderella. I think I gave out those bags. I also gave out spaghetti in a can, but that's a whole different story. All right. 9 more seconds. And these are so, what I love about these is that they're great plain. You can add a chapstick or a lipstick for a gift. Let me turn that off. And now I can add like a ton of charms because I got the whole box of charms. Okay. I do have gloves here for the heat, but here. Now I can show you. I will say, my fingertips are numb now that I'm used to. There's the back side of that. Come on, it looks amazing. So there's the back side and the front side. Of course, I have it upside down and backwards because I can't tell. And then here's what the sheet looks like now that the ink is off of it. Now it's totally white. So here's what we started with. And here's what we ended with. And then here's the back. And there's the back. So it came out great. Any pattern, any colors. All right. So that's sublimation in its simplest form using infusible ink, not having a Cricut. You can take a sheet and you can cut it in shapes. You can cut it into a couple of hearts and then sublimate hearts onto canvas bags or hearts onto there. You don't need a Cricut to do that, but you do need either a heat press, something that goes up to 400 degrees. So I don't know if an iron will. My mom has a couple of those high-end irons. Maybe you could tell me if that goes on. Goes up to 400 degrees. Mom, if you're there. All right, so that was sublimation. No questions? Any questions? Have you done any bookmarks? You sublimated? I have done tons of bookmarks. So you can get fabric and do the whole pattern. This is a great example of what that would be like and how you would cut out the name and put that on there. In fact, you could use this for a bookmark, but there's all different kinds. There's all kinds of metals. Let me just grab this. I have a whole drawer here of little mini pieces. This is a great example. This is one of those like wrist things where you put your keys on there. Everything's a keychain. I got a million keychains. You could take that off, Mary, and use that as a bookmark. There are actually really nice leather keychains. So you can see that's a black glittery letter on the back. That's a sublimatable side there. We have round leather pieces that are sublimatable sign. Yeah, I don't know if 400 degrees is, if you can use that for a regular iron. You might have to have a heat press. But here's the smallest heat press. Excuse me. Here's the smallest heat press that I have. It's this big. And when you talk about doing something like this, it's perfectly fine. And the highest heat on that, this is 400. So you can do sublimation if you only have a small heat press too. So that's nice. This is metal. You can sublimate on this. This is like a beer opener where the whole thing is square. So I could take this sublimation infusible ink sheet and put that all right on there and turn the whole back of it purple and then put her name on the front. Now don't forget, if you print somebody's name on this, take out all the letters and put it on here, you're left with what? The letters. You can put the letters on the other side. So you can have the name in ink, and then on the back side, you could have the name in white. And then they'd be the reverse of each other, right? Did I just blow your mind? Yeah, that was a lot. Okay. So there's so many things. One other thing I wanted to show you before I move over to that ribbon printer, because I'm dying to show you that too. Where did it go? Oh, here's a mug. You're going to love this. And I have this on video, so I'll run a video for you for this. This is an infusible mug, but it's black. right? So you're thinking, well, how are you going to see the pattern? Here's what happens. You put this pattern on, and you basically cook your mug like you would any other mug. When this mug gets hot, it turns white. So when you take it out of the heat press, it's going to have this pattern on it, and it's going to have Donna's name. As the mug cools down, it turns black again. So when someone fills this with hot coffee or tea, the image appears. It's called a magic mug. It is really delightful. I did Harry Potter mugs with these. Had some Harry Potter stuff on here. Then when you fill them with hot water, like magic, like Harry Potter magic. I'm sensing a theme. The image then shows up. So I have that on a video so you can see. It's like speed, whatever. I did it on hyper speed or whatever, and filled it with hot water, and you can see the black go away, and then you see the black come back as the mug cools. It's really incredible. Donna requested that, Lorraine. That's why Donna's name. You see Donna's name there. Okay, so let's switch over to the printer before I run out of time. Well, actually, I have endless amounts of time, but I don't want to keep you too long. So here you go. Here is what the ribbon looks like when it comes out of the printer, right? So you saw this, and I think it's continuous there. I will say this is a really, really fun toy. But, okay, this printer, super easy to load. When you print out a ribbon, you hit this button and it comes out. So you can make it as long as you want, and then this is basically the cutter. So then it cuts the ribbon out, and there you go. To fill it, it's really simple. All of these components are simple. There's a ribbon spool here, and there's an ink spool. So if I wanted to do blue ribbon with gold, I'd have to take this out, put the blue ribbon in with the gold ink. They come in sets. So each one of these is like, I bought beige with black. That's what this is. If I took this out and replaced it with blue with gold, that would be what that cartridge is. Then there's blue with white. You have to get a cartridge for that. Then there's pink with black, and you get a cartridge for that, right? So you keep buying the cartridge ribbon color with the ink that you want on it, and then you change them in and out. Super easy to load. It just loads right in there. You close the door. You go to the app. I already have Welcome to My Live already in here. And then you type it in on the screen. Welcome to My Live. And you just hit print. And it prints out. Now you can't see it. This is a really short one. So let me print it again. You'd have to print it for as number times as you want. So it gets as long as your words are, but then you have to print it out a couple times. Okay, so see that? So here's the catch. The catch is, in order for you to have, here's the app, all these fancy fonts to go onto your ribbon, or to have little emojis to be between your words or between your sentences, you have to do a subscription, which is, let's see what this subscription is. The subscription was $30 a year. I mean, is it the worst? No. But am I going to use it $30 worth? Are you going to use it $30 worth? I already spent $50 on the printer, and each one of these cartridges is $11. So, what did I spend? Maybe $80, like $90 to make the ones that I have. And then if I want fancy font, I have to spend another, I think it's $6 a month if you pay monthly, or like $29 if you pay for the whole year. I just don't know if I'm going to use $29 worth of little emojis to go on there. All I want to be able to do is put someone's name. So I'll show you. Let me change it to someone's name. So you just go into the editing screen. Yeah, nothing like it going slow. All right, I'm not changing the names because it's 8:34 and I don't want to keep you. But I typed that before we started, so we'll just do that. And then you can do number of copies. So if I did 3, for instance, the ribbon would keep coming out. printing. There we go. And it is really nice satin ribbon. This is literally those ribbons that you buy at AC Moore of like 100 different colors, and wrap around all the, your little trinkets and favors and stuff. But I don't know. I'm not going to pay for the subscription. And I do like a fancy font. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess you can decide if it's worth it. If you're going to use names and you want to change all of the names, then you would definitely think that subscription was worth it. And then it's easy to get out. Just hit that little thing and it comes right out, and it's a clean cut. And I've tested it a couple times and it's pretty clean. So if you want to spend the extra money, I'd say it is very cool. It's a cool little toy. I'm going to try and do a couple other colors and see what I can do without the description before I really say I would recommend it or not recommend it. If you like gadgety things like me, it's super fun, and I would definitely recommend it. If you're, crafting on a dime, which we all do sometimes, especially around holidays, then you might not like the added expense. I'll leave it at that. So let me make sure I told you everything I wanted to share with you today. Does anybody have any questions while I'm looking up my notes? You have to use special ribbon. Yes. Lorraine, you have to buy the cartridge. It's not only special ribbon, you have to buy a cartridge with the ribbon color that you want and the ink color that you want the words on. So, yeah. So there is some special stuff there. Okay, so any other questions? Let me see. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Lorraine's making a wish list for Christmas, and this is going on it. If nobody has any questions, I will tell you that next week, I can't remember what next week I'm going to try what's called a frozen tumbler, which is dry. It's dried. The glitter, instead of being suspended, stays animated the entire time. It's frozen in place essentially. So I'm going to do one of those tomorrow, and next Sunday, and I have a really special drip, like the honey drip tumbler that we did. I have a cute additional drip, and I will keep revealing resin surprises and coming up with some projects. But if you saw anything you like on my page this week, don't forget to tell me that you liked it, and if you claim it, and I'll mail it to your house. Jessica's getting mail, Sherry's getting mail, Mary Ellen's getting mail, and Donna is getting a mug after I cook it. I will cook this and film it so that you can see it, because we didn't have enough time to do it while we're in here. But you'll be able to see it in the next day or so. And if nobody has any questions, then that's it. I want to thank you for watching tonight, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.